We'd been in Margalef for about 3 weeks. There are so many cool crags and lines, it's almost too hard to pick a route. You're so spoilt for choice. I'd been on a few routes and had been spending my time switching between mini projects, always trying to keep the focus on just enjoying the climbing rather than getting really deeply involved in only one route. We were at Laboritori looking for a bigger project, looking at a few of the 8As we'd earmarked out to try. But right next to one of the lines we were looking at was this other line called Tsunami, which for some reason was one of those lines that you get really drawn into. It had a funky looking bouldery start and what looked like a series of pretty generous holds on a steep overhanging face. I think it was the bouldery part and large looking holds that were kind of drawing me in, really. It's quite common in Margalef for the start of routes to be off of a pile of stones. Tsunami has a pile built up underneath it, but being on the relatively short side meant I couldn't reach the start hold while I was standing on the rocks. So I had to haul up the rope so I could hang the first hold, and I used to start the route like that. I started working Tsunami, working the moves and spending time coming up with sequences for the 3 cruxes. The first was a bouldery start, then a second eye-popping cross-through off of some crimps to a big jug rest, and then the third crux was a final techie fingery section at the top. Once the beta was pretty solid in my head, I started going for red points, but I kept bottling the middle crux moves. It felt quite far between the bolts, which meant doing quite difficult moves quite high, well, it felt quite high, above my last bolt. I figured the only way I could push through the crux and not worry about the fall was to fall. So I systematically took falls from different stages through the crux sequence until I was able to repeatedly fall off at the highest point of the crux before being able to clip the next bolt. Head game and worrying about falling is something I've always struggled with in climbing, and it's been pretty debilitating in the past on some memorable routes, which were memorable for the wrong kind of reasons. It was a little bit of a personal breakthrough to be able to push past the mid-crux without worrying about falling off, and being able to just fully focus on committing to the moves. The sting in the tail of this route was the final moves to the Thank God pocket, which you hold to clip the chains. I'd blown 3 red points where I got to the point of lunging for the pocket and fell off.